All right, welcome back everybody. If you're new to the channel, we welcome you. We are at Rip Fitness. My name is Justin. I am a personal trainer here. I've been a trainer going on 8 years now. So today is a little bit different style of a video. We are gonna do some Delt training tips. So some of the things that I'm gonna go over are some of the things that I see people doing wrong on a day-to-day basis in gyms. Shoulders is one of my best muscles. People ask me, what do I do to get my delts this big, or how do you get them that ripped, or how do you get that lean? I'm gonna go over some very simple tips that you can throw into your training routine to help grow your delts. Okay, so let's get to it. So first tip is gonna be for dumbbell side laterals, okay? This is probably the biggest mistake that I see people do all the time, okay? So I'm gonna show you what I see wrong, and I'm gonna show you how to correct it, okay? So when you're doing a side lateral, what I see people do all the time is this. Okay, now I want you to pay attention. Look at the dumbbells. They are over the elbows. That is incorrect, okay? That's gonna put a tremendous amount of stress on your forearms right here, which that's not your shoulders, okay? Now, what you need to do to correct it, this is how I train my clients. This is how I perform. Curl the wrist down, okay? Lock the arms. Now barely bend them, just barely, okay? Now you lift through the elbows. I always tell my clients, where are the elbows going? Elbows should be above the dumbbells, just like this, okay? And you wanna stop right at your shoulder level. No need to go this high. Shoulders don't work that way. You're gonna lose tension if you go that high. This is how they should look, okay? Just like that. Dumbbells down, elbows up, okay? Another thing I see is people swinging. Doing this, using their lower body. That's not isolation. So what you're doing is you're compromising. You're using your lower body to move the weight, and then you pick it up through your delts once you're about halfway up, okay? You don't want that. So if you have a problem swinging, you're probably going too heavy, okay? So make sure, stand nice and tall, nice and strict with your form, okay? Get work off the up, which is the positive part of the movement, and control the down, which is the negative, okay? I always tell my people, if you're only doing the positive and you're just letting these dumbbells fall, you're only getting 50% of that work, okay? Out of 100%. So 50% of your work is here, 50% on the negative. So make sure you get some work off that negative and control it, okay? Okay guys, next tip. So to build muscle, man, it's all about range of motion. The better of a stretch or the more range of motion that you're gonna have throughout that movement, whichever one it is, the more tension that you're gonna have throughout your muscle and the more muscle fibers you're gonna break down. So I'm gonna show you a couple tips to increase your range of motion with side laterals. Okay, first one, so imagine a normal side lateral, just standing up. So if I start here, there's no tension. My delts are soft, okay? I start getting tension about here. So to automatically start out with some good tension, some more range of motion, you can set up an incline bench, and I've just got it at a normal incline, okay? Now lean back. Now my delts are already tight. I already feel that tension already. So now, remember the tip, like over here, elbows. Control the down. These are much more difficult than just the standard standing side laterals, okay? Now, let me show you another one. Let's go. Okay, so this one right here, man, I love this exercise. I remember when I was just starting to work out, man, like when I would do my shoulder workout, this was every workout. These two exercises right here. And I honestly give credit to this exercise to building my delts this way, okay? So right here to the cables. All right, so continuing that theme of extra range of motion and extra tension before you start your set, okay? Got some cables right here. Now we're doing the side laterals still, okay? Now, keep this guy right in front of you. Now, step this way, okay? Now look at this. I've already got good tension right here. Boom. Same thing, elbow. Okay, now also, When you're doing it this way in the front, you're gonna be targeting obviously the side delt, a little bit of front delt, but this is my favorite way to do it. Take it behind the back. Same thing, step in, arm right behind the hip. So, as you can see, that's way more of a range of motion, way more stretch, which is gonna give you more tension on the delts, okay? So if you guys haven't tried that one, trust me, try that one out. And just a quick little added tip right here. This is my favorite way to do the drops, okay? Start this way, boom, bang out 10, keep the same arm, right to the back. And another 10 to 15. Trust me, if you ain't getting blood in your delts from doing like that, I honestly don't know what to tell you, okay? Okay guys, continuing the theme with the side laterals, this is the last tip I got for sides. So overload, we're going to overload the weight to create a tremendous amount of stress on the rear delts, okay? So let me just get into this and show you what I mean. So for example, if I'm doing just standard dumbbell side lateral raises, I generally stick with like 25 or 30 pounds. So when I do an overload, I'm gonna overload that weight where I can't go all the way up. Okay, I'm gonna go about halfway up, which is still doing a lot of work, okay? But you gotta maintain strict form, okay? So, for example, I'm gonna get these 35s. Okay, now I'm probably not gonna be able to go all the way up, but that's the goal. But I'm gonna maintain strict form. Just like that. Just off of doing those 4, man, I feel tremendous amounts of stress on my delts. So what I like to do is I'll do a heavy overloaded 10, 15 reps and then follow it up. Boom, get some lightweight. Now we're going all the way, good form. And then I generally like to do another 10 to 15 right behind those. Okay guys, so next tips. So these are gonna be for rear delts, okay? So just like we did over there, I'm gonna show you the theme that I see people doing wrong and then show you how to correct it, okay? So this right here, this is our pec deck and rear delt machine right here. So to isolate the rear delts, I'm gonna show you what the mistakes that I see first, okay? So what I see is people lining up too high with the seat. Okay, they're like this. Now you see how my arms are kind of straight, or some people even have like a downward angle. So that's wrong. So you don't want to be that high. Okay, so if you do them that high, you're gonna start targeting your back, your rhomboids. Okay, so what you need to do, and it's very simple. It's a quick, easy fix. Okay, but a lot of people don't know that they're doing them wrong. So lower the seat. What you want, since your rear delts are here, they're part of the back, obviously, and then part of the back of the shoulder. Now that's a little low. This is gonna be perfect. Okay, now you see how my shoulder is lower than my hand? It's slightly at an upward angle. That is going to take the back out of it and isolate the rear delts. Make sure when you do this though, extend your arms, keep your elbows bowed out, and you stop right there. Squeeze the rear delts. Just like that. And another thing is people that are double jointed, man, they can literally go back so far and almost touch these guys together back there. Okay, now I'm not that flexible, but there's no need to go that far, okay? The rear delts don't activate that far back. They only stop right there. Okay, you need to stop right here. Boom. That way you keep that tension on the rear delt, okay? So let's go this way. Now, continuing that theme of elevation, okay? So I've got a rope set up here. So what I'm about to demonstrate is a face pull, okay? These are one of my favorites to grow the rear delts here, okay? So what I see wrong a lot of the times is people doing them like this. Okay, now, if you look at this metal piece right here, where the rope attaches, this. I always tell my clients, you need to pull that piece of metal up to the forehead, okay? So first things first, grab the rope, elevate, okay? Elbows boxed out and wide. Now I'm gonna pull to the forehead and I start to spread that rope apart as I come in. All right, now when you come out, still keep it high. Spread, squeeze, keep it high. Just like that, okay? But those are some quick, easy, simple tips to fix in your training routines, and trust me, you will feel the difference in the rear delts and you will get those gains that you're looking for. Okay guys, next tip, still with the rear delt theme, okay? So now we're back on the range of motion, extra tension before starting your set, okay? Now let me show you an example of just a simple basic dumbbell fly, rear delt dumbbell fly. Okay, now when I start, I don't have tension already in my rear delts here, okay? I start to get it right there. All right, but when I'm here, there's no tension. That rear delt is soft, nothing, okay? Now let me show you an exercise that you can increase your range of motion and increase your tension before starting your set. So we're gonna be right here. Now I've got the cable all the way down, okay? No attachment. I like to grab it, boom, just like that, okay? Now, I'm gonna step out. Now look at this. Boom, that thing is already nice and tight, good tension. Make sure this guy is right up under your hips. You don't wanna be out here. Get nice and aligned, get parallel. Start kind of like at the inside of this right leg. Now think about where the elbow is going. Look at this, look at that tension all the way across. That is a tremendous exercise to hit those rear delts, okay? I got one more. Let's go this way. Now, another thing I see with the rear delts, people swinging, kind of like we were talking about on the side delts. So I see a lot of this. Body rocking up and down, so that's not isolating the rear delts. You're using momentum to move the weight, okay? Now let me show you a way to isolate it, okay? So I've got an incline bench set up here. We're gonna set this up on an incline. We're gonna support our body where there's no swinging going on, okay? So you wanna straddle this bench, get your chest above it. You don't wanna put your chest like this. You can't breathe, it's uncomfortable. So don't be afraid to come up nice and high on this bench. All right, now we're gonna do it right. So as you can see, my body is stabilized from that bench and there's no way for me to use momentum and to move that weight up. So the only thing I can move it with is with the rear delts, which that's the goal. We want to isolate those muscles that we're targeting that day, okay? All right, guys, next tip. So now we're on to front delts, okay? So continuing the theme of added range of motion, added tension before you start a set. So back at the cables, okay? So imagine doing a dumbbell front delt raise, okay? Right here. When you start here, there's no tension, which is okay if you want to do dumbbells, that's cool, but I'm trying to show you guys some cool tips to increase the tension. Okay, so imagine those. Tension is lost here. Now, let's get that cable. Single, look at this. Now that weight is already pulling my front delt back, nice and tight. Way more tension, much more difficult. Okay, and it doesn't really matter how you set your feet, whether you're comfortable being like this in a three-point stance, or not three-point stance, a spread stance, or if you want to go together, you can even stand up tall. Now look at that, my arm is basically behind my body. I mean, that's good tension before you start. Okay, so you can also do it flat, you can also do a hammer, like that, okay? So there's one tip. Next one is over here. All right. So right here, we're going to, got the incline bench set up. We're gonna isolate that body, get it nice and stable. Now hit the front delts from here. Got good tension already. These dumbbells are pulling me back, up. Now, another tip on this, now that you're like on an incline, there's no need to go as high as you normally would. So like right here, I don't have tension on my front delt. So shorten your range. You want to stop about right there, okay? Since we're already starting way back here, there's no need to go as high as we would if we were doing these standing. And just like on the cables, you can rotate the wrist and hit those hammers. That is much more front delt, okay? Now when you kind of rotate like this, what that does is obviously you're hitting the front delt, but as you rotate up, you start to engage that side delt, okay? Which is okay, nobody says we can't hit the side delts with the front delts, but just a quick tip on those guys. Okay guys, on to the next tip. So now we're talking about shoulder presses. This is the exercise that is gonna give you the thickness, the growth, that good, just good depth in your shoulders, okay? You cannot neglect the shoulder press, okay? So let's start with the first tip, okay? I'm gonna talk about bench placement, okay? That is one of the most important things, because if you don't have the bench set up in the right spot, you're risking injury, okay? And we don't want nobody to get injured, okay? So let me show you what I see wrong, okay? Then I'll show you how we're gonna fix it and what to do. So I'm at a Smith machine. You can do this. This transfers to a regular squat rack, military press too, okay? I'm just using this for demonstration purposes, okay? So, right here. Now this is a mistake that I see, okay? Right here, coming down. Now watch my elbows as I come down. You see how they're pulling behind my body like this? That is very dangerous on the rotator cuff, very dangerous on the shoulder joint. It's not meant to be pulled back like that, okay? So what's wrong with this bench is it's too far back, okay? So when you're doing a dumbbell press with a barbell, that barbell needs to be almost skin in your face as you drop it, okay? So I need to scoot this bench up. Now look, I have to pick my chin up for that bar even to come down, because if I don't, it's gonna hit my nose. So I always tell my clients, anybody I'm working with, pick that head up, because that bar is coming right in front of your head. Now if you have good shoulders, you can go below the chin. My shoulders are pretty strong, they're pretty healthy, but you don't have to. You can stop right at the chin and back up. If you have bad shoulders, nothing wrong with that. But if you do have good shoulders, you can go a little lower. As long as it feels good, take it out, okay? Now, next tip here, grip placement. Another very important tip, okay? So when you're doing a barbell shoulder press, I always tell people, think about like a football field goal, okay? So when you grip the bar, you want your elbows and wrist in a straight line, okay? So you don't want that grip. Now look at my elbows compared to my forearms. You see how they're angled in? They're all angled inside. That's wrong, okay? You don't want to do it like that. Unless you're just really trying to hit a lot of front delt and triceps, that's okay. That's a narrow grip shoulder press. But we're just talking standard military press here. So what you want to do is you want to make like a field goal post with your elbows, chest, and forearms, just like this. That is the right grip right there, okay? So, looks good. Nice and smooth on the down. Don't let that bar just fall down. You put that bar where you want it, okay? But those are a couple of tips that can help you with your technique, your form on the seated shoulder press machine. Or not the machine, I'm sorry, the Smith machine. Okay, so the next tip is gonna be for seated dumbbell shoulder presses. So let's go to the racks. Okay, so lots of mistakes I see done on this, whether it's beginners, veterans, whatever it may be. So just like we always do, I'm going to start with the things that I see wrong, and then I'm going to show you ways to correct it and fix it. Okay, so here we go. Dumbbell shoulder presses. Now I see so many things wrong with this. Okay, first things first, I see people going way too low. Remember that field goal post? Boom, that's your starting position right here. Nice and straight, got that field goal look in the mirror. Looks good. Okay, now I see people going way too low, and now when they push, they're either pushing forward like that, or they're pushing backwards. You don't want to do that, man. That's not healthy on the shoulders. It's not correct, okay? So make sure when you're doing these, make that field goal post. Okay, now if I were to like side curl these dumbbells into my head, they should hit my ears, right in the center of the head. And when you push, boom, you don't want to lock out either, okay? Because if you lock out, that's majority is just triceps. So you want to stop, keep that tension. Just like that, okay? All right, guys, so that's a wrap for the tip video on shoulders. I hope that you guys learned something, man. Those are just a lot of the common mistakes that I see people doing, and just there's some quick fixes. They're pretty simple. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys like these videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. We're gonna be doing way more of these. This is just the start of many. If you found this video useful, go ahead and check out, we uploaded a chest video the other day. Check that one out, man. That is an awesome video. Lots of good tips in there. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. It's my turn to work out. I wanted to get those tips out for you guys. Now I'm about to hit some shoulders. Let's go.
So just start on a mini, and then we can just cut it right there, and then do your next cut, whatever.
What was the next thing? You said one more thing. Is that it?
Hopefully you can use this
The
in
next videos.
Oh yeah, it's like
yeah. Here, I'll finish it. If you like this video, we got a chest tip video.